Hello guys, it's me Simo Orahara, and in this video we will talk about Ukitake and as well as one of the captains of the first Gotei 13, Saizou Sakahone, and is there really a relationship between these two or not? So guys, as some may know, since Kubo had published the color page that includes all the captains of the first Gotei 13, everyone began to speculate about the background of these characters. It's possible that some of them belong to one of the noble families and other assumptions. However, with the appearance of the names of these characters, it became clear that most of our assumptions were wrong, and most of the names of these captains are new to us, with the exceptions of Yamamoto and Unohana, as well as Ichika Shohin, who is considered the only one who is from a noble family. But when you read again the names of these characters, you will see that there is a captain who has a name that we have already seen in the manga. He is the captain of the 13th division, Saizou Sakahone. And the name of Sakahone was mentioned in the manga by Ukitake when he said that his parents took him to the 76th region, which is located in Rekungai, where the Mimihage shrine was located, and there where the Kamikake ritual process took place, so that Mimihage took possession of his body in return for providing the divine protection to little Ukitake and preventing his death from the lung disease he had. Very nice. So the link here is that region 76 is called Sakahone, and it's the same name of the captain Saizou. His full name is Saizou Sakahone. Add to which, as we said, Saizou was also the captain of the 13th division, like Ukitake. So is there some kind of relationship between Ukitake and Saizou or not? First of all, we have to clarify something. The issue of Sakahone's name for Saizou is not something new in the story of Bleach, because there are characters in the story who previously named themselves after the regions in which they were located in Rekungai. Our prime example is Zaraki Kinpachi. Zaraki's name is the name of a region located in Rekungai. Its name is Zaraki and it's region 80. And Zaraki himself named Yachiro Kusajishi, which is region 79. Thus, this gives us a hint that there are some people who call themselves names according to the name of the regions in which they lived in. It's most likely that these people are vagabonds or criminals like Kinpachi Zaraki. Zaraki was just a boy with a sword wandering around, and all his concern was to fight, without any identity, without any name, until he decided to make a name for himself based on the same name of the region 80, Zaraki. That's why it is possible that Saizou was one of the criminals of the Soul Society and perhaps a well-known person in the Sakahone region. And this also goes with the idea that the 13th division or the first squad were mere killers. Or Sakahone could be something else, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. On the other hand guys, the Sakahone region was not an ordinary region at all. It was a land that contained the Soul King's right hand, and as Ukitake said, the Mimihage was known in that region as a worshipped god. They made even a shrine to it. So also Ukitake said that Mimihage long ago fell from the royal palace, so it would make sense that Sakahone would have knowledge of Mimihage, or at least he knew that there is something called Mimihage and that there is a shrine there. Especially if we look at the appearance of Saizou Sakahone. He looks like an old person. He seems to be thousands of years old, and therefore I think that Sakahone, whether he was a criminal or whatever the nature of his work was, he was definitely aware of the presence of Mimihage. And this is what I think always about. How did Yamamoto gather the members of the first squad? No doubt many of them he met them in different circumstances. I mean, I can imagine this. If Kubo wanted to tell us someday about how did Yamamoto gather the members of the first squad, I think every captain would have a story with Yamamoto, and among those stories, his story with Saizou Sakahone. For example, that Sakahone in the past wanted to attack the shrine of Mimihage and take advantage of Mimihage's power, but news of his plan reached Yamamoto and this latter prevented him, and that's how Sakahone joined his squad. Because it is strange guys how Mimihage exists outside Seireichi and not inside it, knowing that the Soul King's organs and parts were basically cut off by the nobles in order to subjugate Ryo as well as benefiting from his powers. However, we see that Mimihage remained outside Serichi. And the second point is, could the nobles leave the shrine unprotected? Haven't they thought about considering Mimihage one of the sacred treasures of Serichi? It is true that Mimihage was outside the Serichi, but the identity and the power of Mimihage would oblige the nobles through Room 46 and through the Shinigami to provide protection for that shrine. That's why I thought about the scenario of Saizou being a criminal and wanted to attack the Mimihage shrine, and Yamamoto stopped him or something like that. And also I thought about another scenario, which may be the link between Sakahone and Ukitake. What if Sakahone was one of the monks of the Mimihage shrine? I mean, again, if you look at the appearance of Saizou, you will find he's close to an old monk, like if he was the senior monk of the shrine of Mimihage, and maybe he was the one who received the young Ukitake, and he was the one who oversaw the Kamikake ritual so that Mimihage moved to Ukitake. And after that, Ukitake started coming back regularly to the shrine, and when he learned that Sakahone is the monk of the shrine and also the captain of the 13th division, he wanted to become like him. And we have already seen something like that in the story. And I'm speaking here about Hisage and Kinsey. Hisage was living in one of the Rekongai regions, and he would have been killed by one of the Hollows if Kinsey had not intervened and saved him. What Kinsey did was one of the most important reasons that made Hisage become a Shinigami, and later become a member of the 9th division. Of course, here we may ask another question. When Ukitake's parents took him to Mimihage shrine, was Saizou already alive? Because through the flashback we have about Yamamoto and Kyoraku, it appeared the time of that flashback was after the war that took place between the Shinigami and Quincy, the first war. Kyoraku was young at the time, and therefore I think it is possible that Ukitake was born immediately after the war, as Saizou was still the captain of the 13th division. In the end, guys, there is another possibility. There may not be any relationship between Saizou and Ukitake, because as I said at the beginning of this video, the fact that Sakahone's name is Sakahone is nothing new, since Zaraki previously called himself the same name as the area in which he lived. So everything is possible. Will Kobo reveal anything about this? I think we should ask another question. Does Kobo even intend to speak again about the first squad? Because talking about them was only at the beginning of the Quincy arc, except if Kobo wants to talk again about them in the Hell arc, and that's another topic. So guys, what do you think? Give me your opinions. Is there a relationship between these two? And see you in my next video.